back. We're reading the Bible, and we're in Exodus chapter 29, starting on verse 1. This is the Jehovah's Witness version. If you can't find it online, just go to the Watchtower, which I believe is their publication network, or go to their Kingdom Home and ask them for one. I'm not sure if they sell it on Amazon, in case you wanted to read along for all you theology nerds. Okay. And this is the thing that you are to do to them to sanctify them for acting as priests to me. Take a young bull and 2 rams, sound ones, and unfermented bread and unfermented ring-shaped cakes moistened with oil and unfermented wafers smeared with oil. Out of fine wheat flour you will make them, and you must put them upon a basket and present them in the basket, and also the bull and the 2 rams. And you will present Aaron and his sons at the entrance of the tent of meeting, and you must wash them with water. Then you must take the garments and clothes around Aaron with the robe, and the sleeveless coat of the ephod. Okay, we have to remember that. The sleeveless coat of the ephod, and with the ephod and the breastpiece. And you must tie it closely to him with the girdle of the ephod. And you must set the turban upon his head and put the holy sign of dedication upon the turban. And you must take the anointing oil and pour it upon his head and anoint him. Then you will bring his sons near, and you must clothe them with the robes, and you must gird them with the sashes. Aaron as well as his sons, and you must wrap the headgear upon them, and the priesthood must become theirs as a statute to time indefinite. So you must fill the hand of Aaron and the hand of his sons with power. You must now present the bull before the tent of meeting, and Aaron and his sons must lay their hands upon the bull's head. And you must slaughter the bull before Jehovah at the entrance of the tent of meeting. Bull slaughter. And you must take some of the bull's blood and put it with your fingers upon the horns of the altar. Interesting. And all the rest of the blood you will pour out at the base of the altar. And you must take all the fat that covers the intestines and the appendages upon the liver, and the 2 kidneys and the fat that is upon them, and you must make them smoke upon the altar. But the bull's flesh and its skin and its dung you will burn with the fire outside the camp. It is a sin offering. Then you will take the 1 ram, and Aaron and his sons must lay their hands upon the ram's head, and you must slaughter the ram and take its blood and sprinkle it round about the altar. And you will cut up the ram into its pieces, and you must wash its intestines and its shanks, and put its pieces to one another and up to its head. And you must make the entire ram smoke upon the altar. And it is a burnt offering to Jehovah, a restful odor. Well, yeah. Smoked meat always smells good, especially when there's lots of fat. It is an offering made by fire to Jehovah. An offering made by fire. Next you must take the other ram, and Aaron and his sons must lay their hands upon the ram's head. And you must slaughter the ram and take some of its blood and put it upon the lobe of Aaron's right ear. Okay, slaughter the ram. Take blood, the lobe of the right ear. Upon the lobe of his son's right ear, and upon the thumb of the ear. Is this the thumb? The right hand, and the big toe of the right foot. And you must sprinkle the blood round about upon the altar. And you must take some of the blood that is upon the altar, and some of the anointing oil, and you must spatter it upon Aaron and his garments, and upon his sons, and the garments of his sons with him, that he and his garments and his sons and the garments of his sons with him may indeed be holy. And you must take from the ram the fat and the fat tail and the fat that covers the intestines and the appendages of the liver, and the 2 kidney and the fat that is upon them, and the right leg, for it is a ram of installation. Also a round loaf of bread, and a ring-shaped cake of oiled bread, and a wafer out of the basket of unfermented cakes that is before Jehovah. And you must place them all upon the palms of Aaron and upon the palms of his sons, and you must wave them to and fro as wave a offering before Jehovah. Wave them to and fro. And you must take them off their hands and make them smoke upon the and upon the altar the burnt offering as a restful odor before Jehovah. A restful odor. Maybe that's why we like barbecuing so much. Like the smell and the fire, just part of our nature. Because it does kind of make you relax, especially if it's like the 4th of July or just really any holiday or any reason you barbecue. Father's Day, Memorial Day. Interesting. And you must take the breast of the ram of installation, which is for Aaron, and wave it to and fro, and wave offering before Jehovah, and it must become your portion. And you must sanctify the breast of the wave offering and the leg of the sacred portion that was waved and that was contributed from the ram of installation. That's the ram of installation. From what was for Aaron, and from what was for his sons. And it must become Aaron's and his sons by regulation, to time indefinite, to be performed by the sons of Israel, because it is a sacred portion, and it will become a sacred portion to be rendered by the sons of Israel. From their communion sacrifices it is their sacred portion for Jehovah. And the holy garments that are Aaron's will serve for his sons after him, to anoint them in them and to fill their hand with power in them. 7 days the priest who succeeds him from among his sons and who comes into the tent of meeting to minister in the holy place will wear them. Okay, so they got to be passed down, or at least made in the same fashion. And you will take the ram of installation, and you must boil its flesh in a holy place. And Aaron and his sons must eat the flesh of the ram and the bread that is in the basket at the entrance of the tent of meeting. And they must eat the things with which atonement has been made, to fill their hand with power, in order to sanctify them. But a stranger may not eat them, because they are something holy. And if any of the flesh of the installation sacrifice and of the bread should be left over until the morning, then you must burn what is left over with fire. It must not be eaten, because it is something holy. And you must do this way to Aaron and his sons, according to all that I have commanded you. You will take 7 days to fill their hand with the power. Wow. The power of the priesthood. And you will offer the bull of the sin of offering daily for an atonement. What? And you will offer the bull of the sin for a daily sacrifice from a bull? And you must purify the altar from the sin by your making atonement over it. And you must anoint it to sanctify it. You will take 7 days to make atonement over the altar, and you must sanctify it, that it may indeed become a most holy altar. So wait, I can't understand if it's going to be every 7 days you sacrifice a bull, or every day you sacrifice a bull, but on the 7th day it's like extra holy. Let's see. And this is what you will offer upon the altar: young rams, each a year old, 2 a day constantly. Oh, yeah, I was okay. So, yeah, 2 rams a day. Wow. So, the rams have to be a year old. That's a lot of breeding. You really got to do a lot of breeding. You got to really keep track to constantly How many rams do you need? If you have to kill 2 one-year-old rams every single day, you're going to need a lot of rams in order to keep that population up. Wow. And you will offer the young ram in the morning, and you will offer the other young ram between the 2 evenings. And a 10th part of an ephah measure of fine flour moistened with the 4th of the hin of beaten oil, and a drink offering of the 4th of a hin of wine will go for the first young ram. And you will offer the second young ram between the 2 evenings, with the grain offering. Look at that. So there's like specific times for food offerings. This is interesting. That of the morning, and with the drink offering, you will render it a restful odor, offering made by fire to Jehovah. So an offering made by fire to Jehovah. Okay, so this is the time, right? Wow. The ram between the 2 evenings of the morning. Wow. It is a constant burnt offering through your generations at the entrance of a tent, the meeting before Jehovah, where I shall present myself to you people to speak to you there. And I will present myself there to the sons of Israel, and it will certainly be sanctified by my glory. And I will sanctify the tent of meeting and the altar, and I shall sanctify Aaron and his sons for them to act as priests to me. And I will tabernacle in the midst of the sons of Israel, and I will prove to be their God. And they will certainly know that I am Jehovah their God, who brought them out of the land of Egypt, that I may tabernacle in the midst of them. I am Jehovah their God. Wow. That's a lot of livestock. Maybe that was just for this time, but it said time indefinite. Well, I mean, we do have a lot of, well, now we can do that in the United States. Over 1 million animals are slaughtered every day for food, so, I mean, it could be done. But again, back in those times, it must have been harder, resource-wise. Somebody has to really do the logistics of that. Managing and really making sure that all of those female rams are fertile, making sure the young kids survive the birth, right? And they said they had to be healthy, so you had to constantly check them. There's a lot of logistics that would go into that type of shepherding, to that type of scale. Wow. Lots of blood on the ear, on the big toe, on the altar. Interesting. It's a very very concerned with the blood. It's interesting. There's different time periods of when you're supposed to offer the rams too. Wow. It really makes you start to wonder. Wine is offered. What do you think, fam?